Let's do Karlach. Oh, yes, health goes up. Health goes good. Extra attack. I'm absolutely behind that. Movement speed is increased by 3 meters while not wearing heavy armor. Well, about that. Change bestial heart. What is this? Gained passive. The bear heart. Wait. You can change your bestial heart selection. Oh, wait. So, at the beginning, I don't know how often you can change that, but at least now you can change that again. So after so and so many levels, you have another option at least. While raging, you can use Unrelenting Force and have resistance to all damage except second damage, yes. Foes also have disadvantage on opportunity attacks against you, and you can dash as a bonus action, which is cool. Oh, wait, what's diving strike? Ah, that was the whole, like, jump down somewhere. You can move on forward, movement speed is increased if I have that thing, but Bearheart is actually quite cool because it makes for less dying. And because she is pretty much tank, that's why Bearheart might be a good idea. While raging, you can use Tiger Bloodlust and you can jump further. Yes, /art to attack up to 3 enemies. Yes, but what if we don't care about the amount of enemies, but rather the what is this one? Primal Stampede. Yeah, what was that one? You can just push everybody aside, but this one doesn't deal that much damage. Diving Strike is like knocking them prone, and you won't take falling damage. Oh, this is actually quite nice. You must be above your target, requires rage. Yes. The whole being above the target might be a bit of a problem, because you're not always in control of your positioning the way you want it to. Right. I mean, it's very good if you actually know how you want to fight, and once you position everything correctly. But that means that you have to play more perfectly than expected. But we have to kind of make sure that even while not playing perfectly, we still survive most of the fights, if not all of them. You can use Inciting Howl. Each ally within earshot can move an additional 3 meters during that. It's all about movement speed for some reason. Each allies have advantage on melee attacks against enemies within 2 meters of you. Ooh. This is absolutely amazing. Wait a minute. Inciting Howl. This is like another action. Okay, while raging, you can use this, and your allies have advantage on melee attacks. Each ally within earshot can move. Okay, so I can use this and make them move faster while raging. Okay, so the rage effect only works if I either deal damage. No, wait a minute. Do some additional damage with the melee and approved departments while throwing them. Cannot cast or concentrate on spells. Sure. Rage ends. There you go. Early if the Barbarian hasn't attacked on enemy or taking damage since their last turn. This is also quite interesting. Taken damage, right? That means that if you do not manage to deal damage yourself, and if the enemy is not expected to damage you, then what you have to do is inflict self-damage on yourself in order to continue raging. Maybe throw like fire potion on the ground or whatnot. But anyway, the whole advantage on melee attacks against enemies within 2 meters. This is actually quite nice, because that makes it more likely for us to hit, let's say, boss monsters. But yeah, we are going to get the bear heart because I expect myself and others to die more often. What about this one? Legacy of Avernus, Branding, Smite. It's a smite spell. Very interesting. So she is doing radiant damage. Don't we have items that support radiant damage? Possibly marks your target with light, preventing it from turning invisible. Okay. An evocation spell. It's a spell. Aha. Yes. Action and bonus action. Long rest. I mean, it's nice. But what is that one? Branding Smite. The affected entity sheds light, preventing it from becoming... This is only good if you really fight invisible enemies. The 2d6 radiant damage may be good in order to trigger an other effect or whatnot. But this right now... The only good thing is actually the extra attack that you get and bonus armor and so on. question, why am I leveling up myself? That is kind of weird, but yeah. The reason for level 5 Ranger is also the extra attack, but I'm not gonna do that yet. I actually wanted to level up from each character on its own, right? From bottom to top, but what you do is like you continue along the line. Very interesting. So, where was I? I was somewhere over here and I had like items with... maybe that one? Something smite. Which one was it? No, that wasn't it. That was something with smite items. Wasn't it a shield, an armor, or whatever? What was it? Haven't I... that one. Bolstering smite. When you apply a condition with one of your smite spells, haha, you gain temporary hit points equal to your charisma modifier. Aha. So that would be good if placed on Karlach. That's actually really good if placed on Karlach. So she has a smite ability, so she gets that. What else? When you use your channel oath, nope. Strength saving throws, yada yada yada. Something smite, but I don't... I thought wait a minute. Wasn't there an object that lets you deal bonus damage if you deal radiant damage or something? What was that thing? Was it a weapon? What was it? There was an item that lets you increase... or maybe I've seen it at a merchant before. I don't know, but it is definitely somewhere. Question is, where is it? I thought I've seen it somewhere. Where was that thing? Weird. No, that's not it. That's just gems. Like, come on, this is not the only one with the smite stuff. There was another one that if the warrior gains advantage from melee attacks while surrounded by 2 or more foes. Or maybe it was an amulet or something. If the warrior bears the advantage on saving throws? Nope. Nope. What was it? It's like a... yeah, an amulet, I think, wasn't it? When the warrior has 50% hit points or less, they don't provoke opportunity damage. Misty Step, no, that's not it. Maybe a ring? Grants resistance to poison damage? No. Huh. I thought I'd seen that somewhere around. Okay, wait a minute. That's Dancing Lights, that's the sleeping thing, that's the saving spell, that's the intelligence thing. I thought I had that thing somewhere. This is just scrolls? Whoa, where's the thing? Why can't I find that anymore? Tears Protect. Oh, maybe it was... no, it wasn't a weapon, wasn't it? That's jump bonus, missile snaring. No. You gain proficiency with longbows and shortbows. In addition, your ranged weapon attacks deal an additional 2 damage. And a hit with a weapon attack possibly inflict a penalty to attacks. Whatnot. Ah, there you go. When the wearer, deals radiant damage, they cause a radiant shockwave. That's the thing. I knew I've had that somewhere. Okay, that's like 15. That's also 15. I mean, if you really think about it, I could just exchange it and give her that armor. In terms of a color scheme, it's the same thing. I just have to get myself a slightly better medium thing here as well. But yeah, that's actually quite good right now. So it's all about radiant damage, whatnot. When you apply a condition with one of your smite spells, you gain temporary hit points equal to your charisma modifier. I don't know about her charisma modifier. It's probably very... it's decent. It's standard. That's what it is. The charisma modifier is like... Oh. It's 0. Yeah. Ability points come from to intelligence checks. Charisma modifier. Where's the whole modifier thing? Like the... Yeah, that... No, wait a minute. This is just saving throw thingies. What I'm actually looking for is... not saving throw modifiers. Something like proficiency bonuses, but actually something different. Proficiency bonus plus 3? Okay. That one comes because of the level thing. She doesn't have bonus charisma, so that's not going to work. So the... Wait a minute. Can I... Ah, okay, this is the character sheets. There you go. Okay, so that's the wrong one. 8. Interesting. Wait a minute. So she is a cleric, and clerics cast with wisdom. Yes. So that one makes somewhat sense. 17 charisma. Jesus. Like, he would be very good in terms of like radiant damage, but okay. Wait a minute. How? Okay, when you apply a condition with one of your smite spells, you gain temporary hit points. Okay, at least we got something equal to your charisma modifier. So we basically gain nothing. That's what it says. Because we don't have a modifier. Yes, bonus or penalty based on an ability, and you only get a bonus point in it for each even number in your ability points. Meaning that if I have like 11 charisma, nothing happens. I only get a bonus at 12. Or so on and so forth. The reverse is also true, but for uneven numbers. So if it's like 9 charisma, we get a penalty, and the next penalty is at 7 points and so on. So it's always like 2 points you have to account for. In this case, it's a nice way to make sure to calculate in certain items that give you bonuses for certain abilities, +1 or something like that. So let's say you have an uneven amount of ability points, you can get the additional bonus from just from the item. And Misty Step again. Okay, so wait a minute, who can Misty Step now? 2 characters, actually. Karlach and holy crap. Okay. Only problem, this is a long rest kind of thing, so we can't use it all the time. I could use it as a kind of killing move thing. You teleport. Cool. Is there a way for you to switch to another character so that I don't have to do this? So wait a minute, this is Lae'zel. This is the Misty Step thing. Okay. No more abilities here, so everything's good. This is Githyanki's Psionic Leap. Also long rest, very interesting. Let's... How do I move this around, though? Is there a way for you to... Ah, no, toggle hotbar lock. No, it's unlocked. Gonna move that down here, and we're going to lock it again. Perfect. So, this is like Githyanki stuff. And... wasn't Karlach also? Yes. Same thing. Right. Now, time for Astarion to get a little bonus level up. Let's see. What is this? Uncanny dodge. Use your lightning quick reflexes to protect yourself. When an attack hits you, you only take half the usual damage. Huh. It's a class feature. So every rogue at level 5 only takes half the damage. Wait a minute. Is this just always present? Oh, this is so cheap. Think about it. If you have uncanny dodge, and it always works when an attack hits you, you only take half the usual damage. It's not roll, no nothing, right? it says lightning quick reflexes, so you could think of it as like a dexterity check that happens, but nothing in here says check happening, right? It's just some flavor text, and the actual effect is there permanently, and you take half the damage. So if you have 5 levels in Rogue, and you only take half the damage, right? And you are a Berserker, which Enraged also takes half the damage or something like that, then that basically means you only take a quarter of the damage, so you're extremely good at survival. Only problem is you don't gain as much health points as a rogue compared to like fighter classes and so on. So this is actually a very nice combination. I like it. Only issue that I have with this is that the rogue itself doesn't seem to get anything other than the uncanny dodge. And of course we have like sharpshooter, yada yada yada. A lot of things here. Oh, this is just it. Wait, what is this? Character features. Ooh. Ah, I just love that. What does that one do? Nothing. Like, you can expand this twice. One up here, one up here. But you can't really seem to expand it somewhere else. Oh, what is this one? Fall damage? You've mastered the art of falling. Gain resistance to falling damage. Resistance means half the damage when falling. So wait a minute. When an attack hits you, okay. If you fall onto the ground, is it considered to be an attack that the ground does on you? Or is it considered to be something different? That would be quite interesting to know too. Whatever. Level 2 spell slots are unlocked and level 1 spell slot, sure. Can make an additional 3 attack after making an unarmed or weapon attack. Okay. So this is the thing, like if you use your action for other things than attacking, you can do this. But wait a minute, I don't know if you can do that multiple times in a turn, but I think so. For every action that is an attack, you can do an extra attack. So that means if we pop in a potion of haste or something like that, or if we have any other bonus effects that give us additional actions, then the extra attack gets triggered every time we do an attack with a crossbow, like with a weapon. It doesn't say melee, it just says weapon attack. But this is the thing. The extra attack, like there's also some spellcaster kind of feat that does something similar. But in this case, the weapon attack is always present, and even if we were to use, I don't know if consumables are also considered attacking, but let's just hope so. We can just attack again, and this is just amazing. So what we want to do is turn this thing into a force of nature, pretty much. Okay. So we can replace spells. Which one can be... The thing is the fog cloud. What I want to do is get as many ritual spells in here as possible. The only problem is you, again, cannot really see ritual spells. That is not nice. So what do we have here? Level 2 and some other spells. So speaking with animals is kind of cool. The thing is, Karlach can already do this. In this case, it would be better for me to just replace, Fog Cloud with the Speak with Animals. I don't know how often I've used Fog Cloud for something beneficial. I wanted to, right? Yeah, the cloud blinds and heavily obscures creatures within it. Heavily obscures means if we were to crouch or so, waste an action, that's what it means. Then it works. The thing is, it's a fog cloud. Why do we have to concentrate on a bloody fog cloud? There should be an arrow that does... Oh, blinding arrows. Yes, sure. Arrow of darkness. Same thing, but the arrow doesn't need to be concentrated on. Maybe there's also a fog arrow or something like that. Something that does the same thing with as a spell would, but doesn't need concentration, because once we get attacked, there's a roll, and if we mess that up, we lose our concentration. And this is the reason why. So, and then we could use concentration for like other spells, maybe something that boosts our armor or whatever. Anyway, or maybe even our damage, because we don't need to boost our armor too much. It's nice to have bonus armor, yes, but it would be better to deal more damage, because that means the enemy dies quicker, and a quicker death of the enemy means we need to sustain less damage. So it kind of works as like it goes both directions. Either you are more tanky or you're like less tanky. But the issue is if there are more enemies, then being more tanky doesn't help you as much because there are just more enemies. You can't kill them quick enough. What you have to do is basically be very, very good at killing things. And that's the thing. The best defense is a good offense kind of thing. So what was I? And blinding was something with advantages, right? Has disadvantage on attack rolls. Range of attacks and spells is reduced to 3 meters. This is the issue. I want to use this in order to... Maybe I could use this in order to heavily obscure my rogue, right? That would make a good amount of sense. The disadvantage on attack rolls. So everybody in the fog cloud would not be able to attack. So if I position this in a way that the enemy is inside the fog cloud and we are outside of it, then everything would be fine. But then the range of attacks and spells is limited to just 3 meters as long as they are inside there and are blinded. The blind stops working once they exit the fog cloud. And that is the issue. If we use that spell to put it on the enemy, they can just exit the fog cloud and then they can continue with their ranged spells. This is the problem. They can just move around that spell. We have wasted an action and they just waste movement speed. In this case, the most beneficial thing would be to use the fog cloud not on the enemy and also not on ourselves, right? Because the heavily obscuring thing just stops working if we exit that fog cloud as well. But it would be a nice way to exit the combat also. Will go undetected unless they get too close to another creature. The problem is also that the fog cloud doesn't have that much space. It doesn't reach as far. It's a nice spell for a very long time. Maybe we can use it for other purposes or whatnot, but it's weird. So what else we have? Attack rolls against blinded creatures have advantage. There you go. This is the only thing that's positive about it. If we throw this on the enemy and we attack them, we have advantage, which means we can roll twice. Everybody can roll twice. This is this is the reason why I wanted to use it. One of them. We just put it on the enemy and then we attack them with ranged attacks. Actually, I have to do this before I attack with the rogue. So first, I'm gonna put the potion in, then I'm gonna use the fog cloud. And then I'm gonna attack probably myself or something like this with additional attacks and so on. And then I'm gonna use the rogue in order to get additional attacks in, also with advantage. Probably some sneak attack kind of things that only work if we have advantage bonuses, which come either from sneaking or like this in this case. So the fog cloud on an enemy has to be done at the beginning. In this case, the strongest enemy that we can have up here. And what kind of spell is this? Spell 1 slot. And we only use it once per fight. I hope so. And then I hope that I can do a lot of attacks in, and then the enemy has to die. There's just one teensy-weensy kind of thing. The one inside there has disadvantage on attack rolls, meaning that if my melee characters are next to, in this case, the boss enemy, the one with the most, the one that I try to focus down, then if they attack, they have disadvantage on attack rolls, and I don't like that. And then enemies would have advantage against my own characters again. So what I have to do is make it so that if my own characters are right next to them, they should not stand inside the blinded area. Okay, so I have to move them very, very specifically. Maybe I should... The thing is, I have to use the fog cloud first, but I have to use it in a way that does not interfere with the positioning of my melee characters. So there should always be a little bit of wiggle room for them to move around, and then they can stand right next to it, and then they have advantage against the creature inside it. but they are not inside it, so they do not get the disadvantage. So a good fog cloud should be placed between you and the enemy has to be occluded by it. Perfect. Now we have figured it out. Perfect strategy. Hope so. And then we can deal like tons of damage and always get probably some hits in with the advantage thingy. And then we can cheese the system a little bit so that it is more in our favor than the others, because that's always the thing. Always seems to be an issue. With that. Okay, and then we have, of course, darkness. Dark vision, not darkness. Grant a creature the ability to see in the dark to a range of 12... Like, why don't you get more than that? Like, 12 meters is like... Elf. Like, this thing here. It's not even much better. For a spell, I would actually assume this should have been much better. 24 meters, if anything. Like, the higher level... dark vision kind of thing. Okay, spike growth not necessary. 100 tons. What the? Wait a minute. Why is it there for so many times? Deals 2d4 piercing damage every time a creature moves on top of the spikes. Until long rest. 100 turns are a very, very, very long time. The thing is, if we are in turn-based mode, we will probably never reach 100 turns. So it's more like a out-of-combat situation. So if you do this for 100 times, it's basically 100 times 2d4. And 2d4 are like 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4 damage-ish. A minimum of 2 damage, so we can deal like 200 damage. So if you were to use this spike growth thing... into spikes movement is half. The creature walking on top of the... So, if we were to cast the spikes on the enemy and then obscure ourselves and get away from the fight, somehow, we may be able to let the enemy just stay for many, many turns in that area, and then they take just 200 damage constantly, right? And then they just end up dead. So it's a sneaky kind of thing. It should not be used in combat, because it just has to turn... The thing is the 100 turns bonus, right? This is the thing. This is the thing that makes it work extremely well. The problem is, does the AI actually know that or not? Does it step outside of the range or not? That's the question. So what you can do is try to hold the person for the same amount of turns, basically. Again, 100... Why is it so... Wait, what the hell? Like, look at this. Like, some spells are there for long rest, and some are there for 100 turns, but is the game bugged or something? Like, why? Create a soundproof sphere, all within... I think I know why. I think it's supposed to be used outside combat. And because outside combat, the game ticks, I would say, faster, right? There are more ticks happening there. So you actually get some benefit off of this. Because if you try to sneak around, it would be beneficial for you to have silence active, of course. And 100 turns are better than just 10 or whatever. But in terms of combat, this basically means forever. Or at least until you lose concentration. Same for that one. Okay. So yeah, concentration effects can just be permanent, basically. As long as you concentrate on that, there shouldn't be a turn limit. Kind of makes sense. Create a soundproof all within are silenced and immune to thunder damage, which is again amazing. There is a thunder build with lightning or something like that that just deals tons of damage. But the thing is, yeah, we just have to figure out enemies that deal thunder damage, and we can just say ha ha ha, not gonna work. But again, we can just use scrolls for this and have the same effect, or like something similar at least. The thorns. What's this one? Hail of thorns. Yeah, the thorns deal weapon damage to the target and then explode. And it says weapon damage. That's actually very interesting. Weapon damage. So the better our weapon. Yeah, 1d10. That's our weapon damage. The explosion deals an additional 1d10 piercing damage to the target and surrounding creatures. On miss, thorns still explode. On save, targets still take half damage from the explosion. It's actually quite interesting. problem, it uses 3 sources of power. One, like the least source is the bonus action, right? The other one is the spell slot, and then of course our action. I mean, everything in here is an action, but the fact that we have to use like 2 other sources, it's just a bit much. Just a wee bit much. There should be a maximum of 2, or if we have 3 of those sources, then it should just be very, very powerful. I don't see anything powerful in here. The thorns deal weapon damage to the target and then explode. The explosion deals an additional 1d10 piercing damage to the target. So the 1 to 10 piercing damage, does that mean it's also weapon damage? Like twice weapon damage basically? One's impact and the other one explosion. That's very interesting. Very interesting indeed. The thorns deal to the target and then explode. To the target. 18 meters distance. Okay, so it's not an AoE. I mean, it looks like an AoE if you look at it, right? But got berry. Conjure the 4 magical berries into your or a companion's inventory. Creatures who eat a berry regain, hit points. Berries disappear after long rest, which is okay. Ah, yeah. It's right there. Like, it summons 4 berries, right? And each one of them only lets you regain 1 to 4 hit points. And all of them added together are 44, or like a maximum of 16 healing. So it's like weird. But why would you only want to heal 4 hit points? That makes no sense. I mean, in this case, you could just use a short rest. It's like a slap in the face, that spell. Your attack summons thorny vines that possibly ensnare your target. And ensnaring makes what? Their movement stop or whatever. No, cannot move and take... Ooh. 1 to 6 piercing damage per turn. Pretty neat. For how long? Concentration and 10 turns. 60 damage maximum. But again, 10 turns are very long, so the maximum amount of turns I needed in order to fight like bosses are like 5 turns, maybe? Yeah. I would say 5 turns are enough to finish every fight. Most of the fights at least. Yeah, 5 turns should be enough. Maximum 10, but let's say on the average 5. If you focus down the strong ones first, then that should work. So, attack rolls against the creature have advantage. Again, an advantage spell, but only for 1 target. While the creature's attack rolls and dexterity saving throws have disadvantage. Okay. That's nice. Removed when helped. Strength save. So so what you really need is like 2 characters. One of them throwing a fog on the enemy, and the other one using the ensnare in order to stop the enemy from moving. No, wait a minute. This one here. The thorn thingy, and then you use ensnare. And then you can stop them from moving for at least 10 turns. And then it does like 6 piercing damage plus the 2 to 6 piercing damage each. No, wait a minute. Working on the spike. Yeah. The 2 to 8 piercing damage every turn. That would be amazing. If you combine this with this and then just go out of combat or something so that the turns happen quicker, that would be neat. Only problems are how do you make sure to not get caught into combat so that you have to click through this constantly. Okay, cure wounds. A creature you can touch. Nope. I'm a ranger. I do not touch things. Convince a beast not to attack you. There aren't that many beasts. Most of them are humans. Speaking with animals. Yes, this is actually a very cool spell. Again, it doesn't tell me that it is a cantrip. That it is a ritual spell, but it is a ritual spell. And ritual spells can be used... Nah, it still doesn't say that. Very weird. Anyway, and ritual spells can be used almost all the time. It also would make for a more coherent experience, because then we don't need Karlach in order to talk to animals. But to be honest, it's a nice spell, but we may not need to make use of it for that often, right? I mean, I still want to keep it at one point, but do we have other spells that would make more sense for us? Pass Without Trace is actually one of those things that could work, because we are very, very sneakily most of the time. Cure a creature from disease, poison, paralysis, or blind. That's actually something very nice. Problem, it's a level 2 spell slot. Call for... Wait a minute, what about that one? Hunter's Mark. It's like True Strike or something. Mark a creature as your quarry to deal an additional 1 to 6 whenever you hit it with a weapon attack. That is actually quite nice. And it's a bonus action. Think about it. That's actually quite nice. So, where was the... That's interesting. Oh, True Strike is a cantrip. That's why. Alright, makes sense. Makes sense. So yeah, we got this one, then we got Silence, then Protect from Poison. Touch a creature to neutralize all poisons affecting it. Wait a minute, don't we have a similar thing somewhere? Heal the creature you can touch. Components buried. Berries disappear, no? Could we sell those berries though? That's a funny thing. Then we could make an awful lot of gold from it. Cure a creature from disease, poison, paralysis, or blindness. It's a level 2 spell. It's also a level 2 spell. Poison affecting it and granted protection against poisonous influences. What does it mean to be protected against poisonous influences? Does it mean we get grants advantage, there you go, on saving throws against being poisoned. So it doesn't happen that often. But if we walk across, let's say, a poisonous surface or whatever, or be in a cloud or something, it still happens. And resistance means the damage is half to poison. Okay, so it's a permanent effect. Action, 2 spell slots. Touch a creature to neutralize all poisons affecting it and granted protection. I don't know if we can use it on ourselves, but I hope so. Lesser restoration, cure a creature from disease, poison, paralysis. Okay, so it's either curing, meaning getting rid of the poisonous effect and other effects, or more focus on poison stuff. Now, the biggest question is, what damage type is the thing that's the most severe in this game so far? I mean, we were already in some kind of poisonous areas, but this... Okay, what about this one? Call forth a veil of shadows and silence that gives... and silence, very interesting. So what was I? That gives you and all nearby companions a plus 10 bonus to stealth checks. The question is, how good is my stealth check so far? Isn't it like dexterity? Sadly, I cannot look at it all of the time. Wait a minute. Stealth stuff. Stealth against monstrosity types. Don't I have like an item somewhere that gives me bonuses to... No, sleight of hand probably, right? Take an enemy moving out of reach. Sure. Constitution. Ranged weapon attacks. Saving throws. That's Fey. That's like the fire stuff, the mage breaker. That's the thing with the True Strike, right? Gain advantage on your next attack roll. 2 turns, like, it's nice. But having Hunter's Mark is actually better than this. You have a history of baffling, you get proficiency in arcane. Like, this is the only other thing that's positive about it, but to be honest, True Strike is just meh. The only good part about it is that it is a cantrip that can be used all the time, whereas this one is a spell. But we had, like, if you are very conservative with your spell slots, then you shouldn't have that much of a problem with it. So if you use like 1 spell each time you are in combat, just to prepare for fighting against strong characters, then that means you can fight at least like 4 times or something. Or maybe 2 if you are using like a level 2 spell slot as well. But True Strike, cantrip, sure, but it also takes away an action. That's the issue. It takes away an action. And if it takes away an action, it means that we don't deal damage that turn, therefore making it more likely for the enemy to kill us. A bonus action, on the other hand, facilitates a normal action. This is better. And this is also permanent, and it also deals damage. Oh, where was that thing? If the target dies before the spell ends, you can mark a new creature without expending a spell slot. And it also continues. So basically, you can use this. The question is just, wait a minute, you can mark a new creature without expending it. Okay. So, it doesn't seem to have a saving throw. I don't know how... I mean, it's a hunter's mark, right? And the marking thing happens on our part. So it has nothing to do with the target itself, I hope. So maybe there's a way to use this to our advantage if we fight a lot of creatures, right? So if we deal an attack... when you hit it with a weapon attack. So we have to hit it. The damage doesn't really matter, but as long as we hit the thing, we deal an additional 1 to 8. 1 to 6 damage. So if the enemy has very low amounts of health, and we can deal the other half of it, let's say, like they have like 12 damage also, and we do a consistent 12 damage. I have 12 amounts of health points, and we deal a minimum of like 6 damage-ish. Then the other 6 damage can just come from the Hunter's Mark. But I'm again very optimistic about this damage, right? Okay, no, this is just... it's kind of nice to have, but it doesn't do anything about hitting objects. Whereas this one here makes it more likely for us to hit objects, yes. It's a foglight kind of thing. Pass without trace might still be one of the bestest things so far. Test whether an action is successful based on a dice roll, your ability modifier, any bonuses, and the check's difficulty class, yes. I do have an armor on that... I don't know about the Githyanki thing. Have to check that. So, anyway. So, True Strike is kind of cool. Gives you advantage on your next attack. I don't know where the advantage was. Yeah, that one. Much nicer. But Ensnaring Strike just takes up too many actions. Maybe this is why. It's an interesting trade-off. This one is there for 10 turns. So if it works, it works. But you have to use it constantly, and you have to use concentration. This one also is concentration. Same... That's weird. This one says Ensnaring Strike range. But it has a melee range. Melee 2 meters. Why is it ranged and only has 2 meters? That makes no sense. It could mean that the spell itself is bugged for some reason. Or it depends on the type of weapon that we have, because this one can be used much further than that. Why is that one melee? That makes no sense. That's weird. That one at least, see, Spike Growth can be used much further away, and it depends on your weapons. I would say that Ensnaring Strike is the same thing. Should also be considered like a crossbow or like weapon attack. Weird. Whatever. So we got like Dark Vision, Poison, and this one, Bark Skin. Protect the creature from attacks. Sounds good. Increase its armor class up to 16. So it's just a fixed 16 armor class. I have how much armor class? 19. So in this case it wouldn't really benefit me that much. And there is actually another spell that's better. It's the Illusion Magic. That would boost my armor even more. That would be amazing. But then I have to decide to either use Pass Without Trace or use Illusion Magic. So this is basically the thing that decides what my build could be. So either I'm gonna go on the offensive with this one here and use up an awful lot of turns and like attacks and whatnot. Spike Grow on the other hand. Increase its armor class, Protect the creature from attacks. It increases it to levels, to like 16 points. That would be a nice spell to use on Karlach and get rid of Karlach's armor, and then she can get bonus effects because of this. Problem? I mean, it's a permanent effect, which is nice, but the issue is the concentration. And if we get attacked and the concentration fails, then that's not good. And it also doesn't tell me what kind of concentration rolls we have to do. I mean, spell attack, yes. Bonus to melee and ranged spell attacks. Improves your chance to hit with certain spells, yes. It's a roll with wisdom, probably, spellcasting ability. I mean, it doesn't say that it's a wisdom thingy in here, but I think so. It would be nice to know the rolls that you have to do on your own modifiers, right? So it says concentration, but you do not know what needs to be checked in order for this to work better. Like if we hover over this, casters need to focus on maintaining yada yada. They can only cast one concentration spell at a time, and their concentration might be broken when they take damage. And then you have to do a roll, like I think a saving throw, or like maintaining cast, or whatever it is. So depending on your casting ability, that's what gets called for. But the thing is, the spell itself doesn't tell me the roll to concentrate on, right? Or was it, wait a minute, maybe it was Constitution itself. Stamina and physical endurance affect your hit points, yada yada. And saving throws from Constitution. There was something about Constitution saving throws that I have unlocked over here, but I do not know where that was. There. Resilient Constitution. Increase your Constitution by 1 and gain proficiency in Constitution saving throws. Determines whether a target resists a spell or condition. Constitution saving throws. Yeah, that's the thing. Let's just hope I haven't mixed up concentration and constitution. Let me just check something real quick. I want to know. Concentration, BG3. Saving throw. Yeah, there's definitely something about that that you have to call for. Losing concentration is absolutely infuriating. Sure. It's basically just a constitution save with a DC based on the damage you received. Yes. And half damage, whichever is higher. So if your character is proficient in constitution saves or has high constitution, they can make the save more easily. Yes. It's one of the big benefits of Sorcerer. Once the class is added, constitution proficiency. Yes. I understand the push. Yeah, that's a problem with like spell saves for concentration. I mean, so wait a minute. Concentration is a game mechanic used in spellcasting. Spells with concentration tag require the caster to continuously put focus into the spell in order to maintain it. That's how much we can know from the in-game description. Caster needs to focus on maintaining yada yada, concentration, and so on and so forth. Now comes the what kind of roll is it? They say constitution, right? But I need to know where that is stated. There we go, take it out. When a caster is concentrating on a spell and takes damage, they attempt a constitution save against a DC equal to half the damage taken. Oh, that's interesting, that's half the damage taken. Or 10, whichever is higher. If the save fails, the constitution save, then concentration ends. Huh. That's why. The thing is, I already prepared for this with a constitution save, so I can maintain concentration on at least one spell for a very long time. This is why you should get very high amounts of constitution and where was this thing? Resilient constitution in order to get advantage for the saving throw. Or like proficient. No, wait a minute. That's proficiency, that's not advantage. There's something different again. Okay. Advantage means you roll twice. Proficiency means you get the modifier on it. represents whether you are trained in a weapon type, tool, or skill, provides a bonus to associated rolls, making you more likely to succeed. Yes, the bonus is dependent on the level. It's now +2, but then it will be +3 once I'm done with a level up. But I don't just want the proficiency, I need advantage on Constitution saving throws. The question is just, where do I get that? Resilient Constitution. Oh, it's probably... Yeah, wait. It's Warcaster, I think. And Warcaster is a feat that I can hopefully unlock with wizards higher levels and so on. Yes. Ah, thank goodness I have all of this prepared. This is just insane. The idea is to have a really good synergy with the con save, so I can maintain this or maybe like the shield spell for a very long time. Wait a minute. I absolutely closed that down. I have to look this up again. 3 Constitution saving throw. Constitution saving throw. Where do I get that? List of concentration spells. We don't care about the spells. I look for saving throws. Wait a minute. Since the save to maintain concentration is a Constitution save, it benefits from proficiency, with an advantage on Constitution save. So how do we get advantage on that? Wasn't there like... wasn't there something that you can learn, like a trade or like a... I think I have to go for a feat or something like that. The feat for Warcaster, of course it's at the end of the list, but... Where is it? There! You gain advantage, on saving throws to maintain concentration on a spell. This is exactly what I need. Warcaster concentration. And we also get opportunity for spells and whatnot. The Shocking Grasp. We don't care about that, but the Constitution on, like the advantage on saving throws to maintain concentration. Ugh. That's the absolute most important thing in here. Alright. Because then we will not be held, I think, in person or whatnot. Saving throws, concentration. You gain advantage on saving throws to maintain concentration. Yes. It has nothing to do with Constitution. It's just a general concentration saving throw thing. That's very interesting. It's actually really, really interesting. So yeah, what you do need is figure out what kind of strategy you want to perform, and then you should get a bonus to proficiency for the check, which means it rolls higher, and the advantage means it rolls more often and you get the higher result. That's absolutely amazing. And then if you have a like gnome or something, you are lucky, but that means that if you happen to roll a 1 and it fails, you could just try again. So that would be another safeguard to make that more possible. So play a gnome, get advantage, get proficiency. That's basically it. That's how you can change the randomness, maybe to help you out somehow. You gain advantage on perception checks. Yeah, we don't really need perception checks. I mean, advantage is pretty cool. What kind of advantages can we actually get? Chances of a succeeding special roll. One is always... Wait, what? Target on 1d20. What does that mean? With advantage, without disadvantage? Wait a minute. That's actually an interesting list over here. So, chance of rolling a target number or above on 1d20. Okay, that makes no sense. I mean, the chance to roll a 1 is always given, right? But why is it always 100%? Because the specific says rolling anything above that. A target number or above, and 1 and higher is always given, so that's always a good thing. So a normal roll is like 10 and higher, it's like 55%. No, actually 11. 11 is like 50 times as likely, and with advantage you can roll at least a 15. Very interesting. And with disadvantage, it goes down to like 7-ish. Very interesting. So you either lose 4 points or you gain 4 points. If like 11 is your starting point. Very interesting. And there's of course critical failure, but this has to be taken care of with like the gnome stat. Absolutely insane. Okay, so yeah, concentration. Wait a minute. Didn't the game say that concentration is something related to constitution or something? Caster needs to focus on maintaining this spell. They can only cast one concentration. The concentration might be broken, but then they take damage. Yes. And when they take damage, it's a constitution thing that happens. Stamina and physical endurance affects your hit point maximum. And you get saving throw bonuses from constitution. But it does not say that this thing here, the constitution stat, is related to concentration. Why not? I kind of have to figure out how the concentration and the constitution is related. And this is something that you only seem to figure out in the... what is that? No, yeah, that's something that you can only figure out in... Huh, it's weird. Figure out in the wiki, which is definitely not a nice thing. This is something that they definitely need to write in here. They need some more information on what concentration is and how that works. Because other than that, you don't know what to roll for this, right? Concentration, constitution save. Something like that, right? Everything needs... Yeah, you should definitely know what the thing is that you roll for. Is it an attack roll? What is it? Especially when you level up. I think the menu is slightly different if we are in the character menu, whatever. Alright, now, what kind of spell is it that I want to learn? Because this is the new one, right? I mean, I could learn the Speak with Animals thing, or I could learn Pass Without Trace. The question is, which one? This is just a wisdom check. Ooh. Wait a minute. I mean, it's kind of... Wait, no. Stealth check? Nothing in here says anything about spell save DC. Certain spells require enemies to make a saving throw. Oh. Spell attack. Bonus to melee and range attack improves your chance to hit with a certain spell. Good. So everything in here has nothing to do with this spell. It doesn't attack anything, so therefore this is not wisdom stuff. I have like high dexterity and high constitution. Exactly what I need. So I should not use this in order to deal damage for now. It would actually be better for me. Yeah, it would have been much better for me if I were to get the intelligence bonus to 17 with the item, and then I should have taken the 2 points in intelligence and placed them in wisdom. That would have been so much better. But no. We had to get uneven points in here. This is just so stupid. Alright. Whatever. Pass Without Trace. Yes, stealth checks. That would be absolutely insane. Problem is, it uses up at level 2 spell slot, and how many spell slots do we actually get? You gain 2 level 2 spell slots, okay, so we can use it twice at least. Oh boy. The thing is, which one are you going to decide for? We are definitely not going to take this. This is also not necessary. This could be a good thing. The stealth check itself could be something that we can use outside of combat. Veil of Shadows and Silence that gives you and all nearby allies a bonus to stealth checks. But what do we do with the stealth checks, right? What do we do with this? I mean, we could just use it to steal from enemies and so on. That would be nice. But then again, It's a nice ability. It doesn't help us much. Grant advantage on saving throw against being poisoned. This is something nice. The cool thing is that you can use this, and as long as you can hold concentration, everything is fine. And we can maintain concentration as long as we don't get attacked, which means we can have this as a permanent thing. Oh, that would be amazing. So we are extremely stealthy. Create a sunproof sphere, all within, yada yada yada. But we have to use this constantly because the sphere is not moving. This one, on the other hand, could be somewhat useful. Because of its 100 turn bonus. But I want to maintain concentration on like the... not this one. It's actually quite iffy. This one. This is just so much better. Because we get advantage and we can roll again. So no old spells go out and no new spells go in. Can I like... yeah, there you go. We can continue that. We can just learn another new spell. I mean, I could use Speak with Animals, right? And then I can use it permanently, but I wouldn't get any benefit for fighting or whatever. But this one, on the other hand, another concentration, nah, that would interfere with the cloud. This one, on the other hand, is a permanent thing. We can use it at least in combat, but at the same time, we can also use arrows, and they have the same effect, or similar enough. So we have like arrows that we can buy that work the same way as this one, and we don't need to use a bonus action and a spell slot for that. Ensnaring Strike is a nice thing, but again, it competes with the other stuff. The God Berries are a cool thing. Healing is also a cool thing, but again, it interferes with actions. And you should just heal with potions and not with actions, because potions are bonus actions. So it's a no, it's a no, it's a no, it's a no. It's also a no. This one is also a no, because everybody has armor on at least for now. It's also concentration. This one is not concentration, but it's very nice, but we already see in the dark, so no. Lesser Restoration can help with a disease, poison, paralysis, and blindness. I mean, if... the problem is it's level 2 spell slot. All of those have something negative on them. This is the only thing that's kind of cool, but the thing is I can only hold concentration for so long. But I could try to hold it. Oh, that's actually a good idea. If we sneak closer to enemies, we can position ourselves better, and then we can start combat already at the at a more advantageous position, which would be good. This one, on the other hand, is a convince the beast not to attack you. I mean, I don't want to. Not just this, the creature must have an intellect of 3 or less. Okay. Condition ends early if you or an ally hurts a target, but it's only 10 turns, so you can only use this in combat, right? But it's not an out of combat kind of thing. Difficulty modes, the target might become hostile when the spell ends, sure. Again, it should be like a 100 turns kind of thing, like silence or this one. Spike Grove. That's the thing that is the best thing, because we only have to use it once. The question is just how far are 6 meters in terms of AoE. Oh boy. Let's just go with Pass Without Trace. I can just re-roll this afterwards, but... potions affecting it and granted protection against poisonous influences. But this is permanent. Wait. Grants advantage on saving throws against being poisoned and resistance to poisonous effects. We don't need to concentrate. That's actually kind of cool. Boah, I don't know what to choose because all of them are somewhat iffy. The best one would be speak with animals, so I don't have to be that wishy-washy with the characters all the time. Yeah, that would be quite nice, actually. You know what, let's just take that one. Pass without trace is not necessary. Alright. That took very, very long. Maybe I'm gonna skip most of this. So, let's see. That's the wrong one.
Shouldn't have wished to live in more interesting
And we, of course,
times.
have to use a
Need to
long
find a way
rest.
forward.
Until next time, then, like and subscribe, and